I'm not one to get excited about an individual, especially if it's a man, with blonde hair, with dyed blonde hair, dyed blonde afro, let's get it right. The most important thing for me is winning. I'm excited about winning. Josh Koscheck is a big name, given that he's had all of his fights in the UFC, so a lot of people know who he is, and getting a good win, knocking him out is going to be just big for me in general.
You've talked about it, he's going to try to take you down. He's stood with some guys and he's had some success. His Yoshida win. Do you think that he has no chance if he stands and bangs with you?
No, Koscheck, you have every chance. You have every chance. Again, I'm not really bothered about what he does or the outcome of what he does. I just have to go in there, implement my game plan, and win the fight. That's it, simple. If he wants to stand with me, he wants to stand with me. If he comes to takedowns, we have a plan for that. If he manages to get a takedown, we have a plan for that. But I'm just ready to go and just do what I've got to do.
Are you tired of hearing about takedowns at this point?
Yeah, being that I've had Kenny Johnson with me, all he talks about is wrestling. He talks about wrestling in his sleep, this guy. And if he ain't talking about wrestling, he's talking about some other crazy shit. But yeah, it's all good.
Have you really focused on the wrestling aspect for this fight?
I have done for the past few camps. Come to the UFC, I know that everybody would have seen my earlier fights and think, okay, this guy can bang a little bit. If we're going to win and win without getting knocked out, we're going to have to take him down. So with that in mind, I've been working with Kenny. Even before that, I've worked with Kenny, worked with other wrestlers, worked with the guys at Team Roughhouse on improving our takedown defense. It's an ongoing process. It's not something that I just do for a particular fight.
Considering the style that the champ has in your division right now, does a fight against a guy like Josh, is that a good thing, considering that the guy at the top of the mountain right now fights, I don't want to say a similar fight, but it's the same.
Yeah, they're both predominantly wrestlers. I don't like to differentiate between the individuals as such. I just want to just fight my game. It doesn't matter if I'm fighting GSP or Josh Koscheck. I just have to fight my game. It doesn't really matter to me.
Are you prepared for Are you prepared for anything with Josh? I mean, the Anthony Johnson fight, that there were some things going on in that scrap that.
Yeah, there were a few things. I've seen a lot of his previous fights, but I just have to, do what I've got to do in the fight. I don't want to talk about too much on the camera. Say I've seen this, I've seen that from Josh, because his team's probably going to watch it. I know what I know, and I'm going to go out there and win.
Dan Hardy, just a title shot. You're up and coming. Do you attribute anything to the rise at 170 with English fighters right now? Can you point to anything?
I think we've always been there. I think we've been underrated, and with Bisping winning fights that he wasn't supposed to win, Dan winning fights he wasn't supposed to win, he was an underdog, and a lot of the other guys, Ross Pearson and Nick from our team as well, and Andre Winner, can't forget Andre Winner. I think we've just been underrated in the fact that we've come in here and blasted a few of the big names. It's our stock's gone up, so now we're up there with the best of them. We've always been there, we've just never been given the opportunity.
Do you think at all about what's on the line here, like in terms of the next fight?
Just this fight and winning. That's my main focus, and that's it.
How much did you watch your fight with Jake Shields to try to figure out, okay, what mistakes did I make there? Because he pretty much laid on top of you there and did that. So you don't have that same thing happen this time.
With the Jake Shields fight, I think apart from the obvious fact that he's a great wrestler and one of the best fighters in the world, I've just beat Pride and UFC champion Dan Henderson. The main thing I learned was more mentally. I went in there with the he's going to take me down, he's going to submit me mentality, and I think that was, he's great, but I think I could have done more in that fight. I was still, even though it wasn't so long ago, I was still in my mind quite a young fighter, as I'd say. So, I didn't really look at Jake Shields as being anything special, and the fact that he's a really good guy. I just thought nothing of him. I think I was a bit naive, and now I'm mature as a fighter in my head, and I'm prepared for whatever.
How much do you take from the fact that Dan Henderson was an Olympic wrestler and he got taken down by Jake Shields? Does that kind of make it easier on you to accept what happened?
Yeah, it doesn't really justify anything too much, but it does irritate me a little bit when I have journalists ask me, how's your ground game? Since the Jake Shields fight. Oh, you mean Jake Shields hasn't been defeated in 13 fights and is one of the best black belts in the world and one of the baddest wrestlers in the world who just beat Dan Henderson, Jason Mayhem, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, you mean him? Oh, yeah, I've been working on it a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a bit, they're like saying that my ground game's completely weak because I lost to Jake Shields, but I don't hear him spouting on about Dan Henderson and the guys that have lost or been submitted, like Robbie Lawler submitted in whatever it was, 30 seconds, whatever it was. By him, I don't hear him saying too much about that, so it does irritate me a little bit, but like I say, that's in the past. I've learned from it. Jake Shields is a good guy, he's doing really well, and I've just got to win on Saturday, that's it.